Have you ever been on your daily commute, maybe packed into a train or bus, and just felt, well, completely anonymous, like just another face in the crowd?
Yeah.
Or maybe you've gotten home totally drained and found that same feeling, that sense of being unnoticed, kind of follows you right into your own house.
Oh, definitely. It's a surprisingly common feeling, I think, in our sort of busy modern lives.
It really is.
Yeah.
But what happens when that feeling, being one among many, a silent traveler in your own life story, what if that becomes the main theme of your existence?
That's a really poignant question, and it's one that resonates with so many people. Today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that experience.
Right.
We're looking through the lens of Dilip Chitre's incredible poem, Father Returning Home. We've gathered a bunch of analytical sources to help us really unpack it.
Yeah, pack the layers.
Exactly, to extract its insights into, modern life, family dynamics, the human condition.
Our mission is basically to get beyond just the words on the pages.
Yeah.
And find those aha moments, help you really grasp the quiet struggles and the universal truths this poem brings out so well.
So let's start with the poet himself, Dilip Chitre. He lived from 1938 to 2009, a celebrated bilingual poet and translator working in both Marathi and English. Really remarkable stuff.
And he wasn't just a wordsmith, was he? I mean, his creativity went into painting, filmmaking, even writing magazine columns.
That's right, very versatile. And he won the Sahitya Akademi Award, a really prestigious honor, for both his poetry and his translation work.
Ah, this is Tuka translation.
Yeah.
That brought the spiritual poems, the Amhangas of Saint Tukaram, to a much wider audience, didn't it?
It did. He translated those 17th century works, which is amazing in itself. And apparently he started translating Marathi saints when he was just 16.
Wow, 16. That's incredible dedication.
It is. And what's really striking when you look at Chitre's work overall is how consistent his core themes are. Our sources keep pointing this out.
Like, what themes are we talking about?
Themes like exile, alienation, self-disintegration, death. They appear again and again in his writing, his art.
Okay, so heavy themes.
Definitely. And Father Returning Home, which is from his collection Traveling in a Cage, is just a perfect example of these themes really taking center stage.
It paints such a vivid picture, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, heartbreaking. This suburban commuter, it just throws you into his dull, monotonous, exhausting daily routine.
Yeah.
But what really gets me is how it shows his alienation at home.
Right, that forced alienation.
Yeah. Through details like, stale food, a total lack of connection. His children, they're described as sullen.
Actively refusing to share things with him.
Exactly. Jokes, secrets, anything.
Yeah.
Pushing him further away. It feels like a powerful symbol of man's isolation in this man-made world.
A world he helped create but feels disconnected from. Paradoxical, isn't it?
Gary.
And the poem brings that reality to life right away. We first see the father on the late evening train, standing among silent commuters in the yellow light. And that line, suburbs slide past his unseeing eyes.
Oh, that just immediately tells you about his detachment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like he's just watching life blur past.
Exactly. Not really living it.
And you can almost feel the physical weight of his day, the description of him.
Yeah, his appearance. His shirt and pants are soggy.
Fluggy, right. And his black raincoat stained with mud. His bag, too, stuffed with books, is falling apart.
It's all just worn out, like him.
And then his eyes, dimmed by age, that fade homeward through the humid monsoon night. It's such a picture of quiet hardship. The rain, the mud, it sort of mirrors the grime of his life.
And this next image, wow, it really stuck with me. He gets off the train like a word dropped from a long sentence.
That simile.
It's so powerful.
Isn't it? It's not just clever writing. It perfectly captures that feeling of being, well, insignificant, interchangeable.
Just a forgotten detail in the big impersonal story of life.
Exactly. Then he hurries across the length of the gray platform, and that word gray, it's not just the color of the cement, is it?
No, the sources point out it symbolizes old age, dullness, the whole sort of sordidness of his existence.
Even though his chapels are sticky with mud, he hurries onward. Like there's this desperate need to get home, even if, well, we'll see what home is like.
And what he finds at home is just as stark, isn't it?
Yeah. Home again, I see him drinking weak tea, eating a stale chapati, reading a book.
That stale chapati, it's more than just old bread.
Oh, definitely. It's symbolic, right? Like that one piece of food represents his whole deprived life, physically and emotionally.
It implies he's not even getting basic nourishment. His fundamental needs aren't being met.
Which leads us right into the heart of his isolation. especially the estrangement at home.
Hmm. He retreats into the toilet to contemplate man's estrangement from a man-made world.
Even the location is so mundane, almost unglamorous. But the thought is huge.
Exactly. This deep philosophical thinking happening in such an ordinary place really highlights that core theme. This profound loneliness, not just from others, but from modern life itself.
And you really feel his physical weariness, the toll of time when he's trembling at the sink.
Yeah, the cold water running over his brown hands and a few droplets cling to the graying hair on his wrists.
It's subtle, but so potent. Just a quiet image of life taking its toll.
But maybe the most painful part is the family disconnect. His sullen children have often refused to share jokes and secrets with him.
Oof, that just lays it bare. The generation gap, the lack of concern from the kids.
Yeah, it confirms they just don't have a healthy relationship. It feels like hostility or maybe just complete indifference, which might be worse.
It's palpable, yeah. So where does he find any comfort, any solace at all?
Well, deprived of real interaction, he will now go to sleep listening to the static on the radio.
The static.
Yeah.
Not even music or news.
Exactly. The sources suggest the static isn't just background noise. It symbolizes that his present is just empty, devoid of hope.
Like he can't even entertain himself in a simple way. That's incredibly sad. Just white noise instead.
But then, amidst all this solitude, the poem gives us a shift. He finds a way to transcend it, maybe only in his mind.
How?
He does it by dreaming of his ancestors and grandchildren, thinking of nomads entering a subcontinent through a narrow pass.
Ah, so he escapes into the past and the future.
Right? Connecting to this larger sense of history, of generations, ancient wanderings. It's a beautiful contrast, really.
It's like he's trying to find his place in a bigger story, even when his immediate world offers him nothing.
Precisely. A continuum.
So this brings up a really important question, doesn't it? What is this poem fundamentally telling us about alienation?
Well, the father's loneliness is clearly presented as a symbol, right? A symbol of man's isolation from this materialistic, man-made world.
He's surrounded by people on the train, even at home, but he's utterly alone. It makes you think about how often we can feel that way, even with all our digital connections.
Absolutely. And the sheer weight of monotony is huge in creating this isolation.
Right, the commute.
Yeah, the suburban area, visible through the train, is passed unnoticed. Why? Because there's hardly anything enchanting, interesting to see on that routine journey.
It's just endless, soul-crushing commuting.
And that distances him, not just physically, but emotionally from his kids. It creates this huge void.
You know, for all its sadness, the poem is crafted so well. Chitre uses simple language, but it's incredibly powerful.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned that simile, like a word dropped from a long sentence. Just perfect.
It really is. And notice the other techniques too, like the transferred epithet.
In humid monsoon night.
Exactly. It's the air that's humid, not the night itself. But linking humid to night makes the whole atmosphere feel heavy, oppressive.
Yeah, it amplifies the father's burden. Makes the world itself feel gloomy, sharing his mood.
And you also hear his solitude, don't you?
Yeah.
In the static on the radio, that subtle onomatopoeia.
Right, it brings that empty noise to life. These aren't just fancy literary tricks. They make his experience feel so real, so visceral.
They absolutely do.
And the poem, in its honesty, it really forces you to confront this deep neglect, this isolation. It makes
Right.
you wonder.
What's that?
Well, you know how society often has specific days, like Mother's Day or Father's Day?
Mm-hmm.
Are those days really addressing the kind of loneliness this poem shows? Or are they sometimes just formalities, things that distract from our everyday responsibilities?
That's an interesting point. It brings up that counter-argument you sometimes hear, doesn't it? The whole every day should be Mother's Father's Day idea.
Right, the perspective that, love shouldn't need a special day.
Or that these celebrations can become just formalities, maybe even an excuse not to bother the rest of the year.
Exactly. Which really makes you think about our actual consistent duties towards parents, towards senior citizens.
If genuine love doesn't need a specific calendar date, then maybe our responsibilities need to be woven into daily life, not just saved for one day.
Yeah. And if we connect this back to Dilip Chitre's wider work.
Yeah.
You mentioned his translation of Sant Tukaram's spiritual poems, the Apangas.
Yeah.
That feels like such a fascinating contrast, doesn't it? Father Returning Home focuses so much on the material world's isolating grip,
Mm-hmm. Man's estrangement within it.
while his work with Tukaram dives into the spiritual. It maybe hints at another kind of connection, right? A non-material solace, a different way to find meaning.
I think that's a great insight. It really rounds out our understanding of Chitra's vision. He explored both the struggles of everyday, mundane life and these deeper spiritual paths.
So we've taken this deep dive into father returning home. And it's clear, isn't it? This poem, with its powerful simplicity, it just shines a light on the silent struggles so many individuals face in our modern, often isolating world.
It really does.
It shows how looking closely at a poem like this can reveal these universal truths about family, connection, even the resilience of the human spirit when faced with indifference.
Exactly. And when you think about the father's inner world, those dreams of ancestors and grandchildren contemplating nomads.
Yeah, that rich inner life.
And you put that next to this sort of societal discussion about providing services for senior citizens. What does this poem truly tell us?
About what we really need.
Yeah, about that fundamental human need for connection, for belonging to something bigger, a continuum of past and future, for understanding our place in this man-made world that can make us feel like, well, like a word dropped from a long sentence.
It really makes you question the difference between just providing services and actually addressing that deep human desire for meaning, for shared experience, doesn't
It
it?
absolutely does. It's a thought that stays with you long after you finish reading the poem.